It Matters with Kelly Cords is on now.
It's AM 1240 WJON. There's a Kim Carnes song. It's called Betty Davis Eyes. It's yours at 11:15. It's 76. It's Barry Allen in for Kelly Cords. It's It Matters. And yeah, so this segment we're going to be talking here with Amanda, who's a personal trainer. And Amanda, I think your official title over there is a medical fitness specialist, isn't it?
Correct.
All right. And you know, it's last week I think we were talking with Integration CrossFit, which is another Rejuve company, and I was talking with Bart. And so I know you because we did the Biggest Loser Challenge, and you were my trainer for 3 months. And I lost an awful lot of weight, by the way. So great job training. You did push me pretty hard, and I enjoyed that. And it's a great facility over there at Rejuve. So a lot of people need to know that Rejuve isn't just medical. I mean, they're your fitness, your gym. You got resources and all that. So that's really cool. But you wanted to talk today about running, everything running, and really, a lot of people trying to think about, all right, the weather's cooler a little bit now. It's not like 100 degrees, so maybe I'll get outside and start to run. There's a few things that they need to know, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think the good place to start from somebody who's going to start running?
If somebody is starting running and they haven't ran before ever in their past, a good place to start would be starting with a mixture of walking and running, like 30 seconds walking, 30-second jog. Just kind of slowly building into going into a full continuous run, just to help decrease discomfort in the legs if they're not used to it, and the lungs as well.
So the lungs are something to really keep in mind, because running takes a little bit of a toll on the body, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And
your lungs, if they're not used to that. Is it that the capacity of breathing maybe shrinks a little bit if your lungs aren't used to that, or you get really short of breath? Is that what happens medically?
Yes, and the heart isn't used to pumping out the correct amount of blood with oxygenated blood towards the muscles that you'll be using for running.
Okay.
You're using a lot larger muscles in the body, which requires a lot more oxygen.
So you should definitely don't start off being a marathon runner and saying, all right, I'm going to run today, and I'm going to run for 2 hours, and I'm going to just give it my all. You should really start off. You said like every 30 seconds going between walking and running?
Yes.
Okay.
For like a 10-minute time span, and then slowly kind of progress into making a little bit longer each time, especially if your goal is that marathon.
Yeah. Is usually somebody that wants to start running, do they have a half marathon or a quarter marathon in mind? Is that what the whole reason for running, or is it just saying, I just want to get out there and just be active, and I could probably run and see stuff? And that's kind of interesting to me, I guess.
Yeah, usually it's when you talk to somebody that wants to start running, they have that goal of that half marathon or marathon. And usually I say when somebody's starting off like that, start with a 5K. See if you like that first, which is 3 miles. And then if you like doing that and you want to go a little bit further, go to a 10K, which is 6 miles. And then slowly build into going up to that half marathon or that full marathon.
Okay. And I know you talk about your kids, and the reason I say that is because you know what you're talking about, because you actually, I believe you coach.
Yeah.
Where is it that you coach? I forget totally what it was again.
I am a cross-country and track and field coach over at Apollo High School.
Awesome. Okay, so you definitely know you're running, for sure.
Yes.
And you've also been in a marathon. Is it a half, a full, or a couple? Or I mean, is this an annual thing for you?
I've done a half marathon this past spring, and I'm actually possibly looking into doing another half marathon this winter.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that's half marathons seem like, all right, that's comfortable. A full marathon to me is crazy. But there's a lot of people that love that. And what's the distance for a full marathon, by the way?
A full marathon is 26.2 miles.
Mm-hmm. And a half is half of that? Is that what it is?
And half of that is 13.1. And this year in the Olympics, the male that won the gold, he ran it in 2 hours, a full marathon in 2 hours.
Wow. That's how long it takes me to run a mile. I'm not even kidding. I have to sit down. I have to look at Facebook, and then I'll get up again and be like, all right, I'm going to go another block here. But for me, because for me, that's probably what I have to do, because I would be one of those, because I developed it recently because of allergies, but I get asthma. And so for somebody like that, let's say for somebody like me that wants to run, because let's say I'm really excited, which I'm not about running, but that's just, I prefer more of a heavier sport, like a volleyball or something that I can have fun and be distracted while getting exercise. And to me, running doesn't do that. But now for somebody with asthma that does want to run, what would you say is the best way to approach that?
Okay. And I have asthma myself. I was actually born with asthma.
Okay.
And as a runner myself, what I do is I don't just do running every day of the week. I mix it up, and I do, I'll go for bike rides. I will play volleyball. I'll do different activities throughout the week that just kind of help slowly build up your lung capacity and help your body distribute blood a little bit better. So anybody with lung issues, they are capable to be able to go for runs if they want to have that goal of a half marathon or marathon, but just slowly build into it. Don't go out and run a full 13.1 miles in a day if you've never done it before. Okay.
And would some of that be, does it matter if you run outside or on a track or on a treadmill? What's the difference that it's going to be in your body for that? What's better for you?
Running outside is going to be better because you can teach yourself pacing at your own ability. When you hop on a treadmill, you can just set the treadmill, and the treadmill does the pacing for you.
Okay.
So then usually when you transfer over to being outside and running for that race or just going out and running on your own, you may find yourself having a harder time finding that pace that you're comfortable at so you can continually run.
Yeah, and the pacing is your body the one that tells you how that pace should be, or do you really have to kind of tell it what pace you want?
Your body will tell you. You'll kind of get short of breath, you may get a slight chest pain, or your legs might start to get tired really quickly. So then you may kind of realize that you're going out, that this was just a little bit too fast for me. And if you slowly back off and slow down a little bit, then your body will kind of relax. That tiredness should go away in the legs and the discomfort in your chest.
And you're an experienced runner, Amanda, so this is something that doesn't have to do solely with, your running and your fitness and your body, but this is something that I see a lot, and it worries me about runners, and I want your take on this. So people need to find something to get them into the groove, into the run that consumes their mind, because there isn't a whole lot to do while you're running. So a lot of people, they'll throw in their earbuds and turn on their favorite jam or whatever it is for exercising. But when you're running outside and on streets or sidewalks, things like that, personally, I would think that maybe you should just have one earbud in and one ear, so that you can hear what's going on around you. But I see a lot of times I see both earbuds in, and you can guarantee they can't hear anything else but music in their ears. What's your take on that?
It is very dangerous to run with both earbuds in, especially if music is full blast. Because there are emergency vehicles. They may not see you when they're going full speed. You may not see them. But then there's also those corners that the general public doesn't always see around. And if you're running on the road or not the sidewalk, rather than the sidewalk, you've got oncoming traffic and you're extremely in a lot of danger. So usually what I do is I put one earbud in, but if I want both of them in, I'll put the music down really low so I can hear it, but I can also kind of hear the cars around me. And I would also say not just with the music, but make sure you're wearing bright clothing, whether it's broad daylight or it's evening time, sun starting to set, just so that way you're visible to the people around you.
Sure. That makes total sense. Yeah, it's just like when you're on a bicycle. If you don't have reflectors, people can't see you, and especially if it's starting to get a little bit dusk. Yeah, I can totally see, and and they sell clothing that's really bright. I've noticed that a lot, especially when I go into some of the stores like Dick's and Shields and some of these clothing stores that sell the fitness stuff. They're starting to make a lot of bright stuff. And so that reminds me I was going to ask you, for somebody that's new at running, what are some of the type of clothing that you would say, all right, because a lot of people, when they say, all right, I'm going to start running, but I don't have any of the fitness clothes, so I'm going to go out and I'm going on a shopping spree. So when somebody goes and does that, what would you say is probably the best type of material that somebody should run that's not going to be something that is causing chafing and all kinds of issues that way? And then as well, shoes. Those are utmost importance. So we'll touch on that real quick.
I would say for clothing, try something that is loose-fitting and comfortable to you and that can let your skin breathe. Sometimes those tight nylon types of clothing, especially when you're first starting or you have some type of skin condition, can cause rashes and irritation. So usually I would wear something a little bit on the looser side as far as a shirt and maybe a pair of shorts, or if it's cooler outside, I would wear usually a pair of sweatpants. Okay.
And now, the type of shoes, very important.
Usually, personally, myself, when I look for a running shoe, I look for comfort and support.
Okay.
Now, not everybody needs support in their shoe, but you kind of want something when you put it on and it feels really comfortable to you. You kind of go, ooh, I really like this.
Okay. So let's see, you got all that stuff. You want to get started running. And do you suggest, is there something that Rejuve has over there that if somebody wants to start getting into running or even walking, is there a service that you guys provide to kind of put that all together?
Yes. Our physical therapy department, Brittany Bregelman, actually does a walking and running gait analysis, and that's where she has you go on a treadmill and she takes a video and watches how your hips and your knees and your ankles move, so that way we can kind of help ways to help you decrease risk for injury and help with any aches and pains that you may find in your legs while you're walking or running.
Makes total sense, especially if you have knee problems or anything. I'm sure you can see that. That's what happens to me a lot, is the knees.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Amanda, nice info here because, yeah, we're about out of time. And online, if anybody wants to learn more, it's RejuveMedical.com, correct?
Correct.
All right, Amanda. Well, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We appreciate it very much. It's AM 1240 WJON. We'll come back with news and more information. We're going to be talking with somebody out at Bailey Ray's Blues Festival in San Diego. Lil Ed, one of the band members, coming up here on WJON.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson.